All right, that was weird, man. That was a weird issue I had. All right, but we're back. We're here for game number 2. We're gonna get right into it here. It's gonna be, what is it gonna be? It's right there. It's gonna be the NC Snakes versus the Tizz Savage Boys. It is Moob versus Tizzle Bizzle, Dark Elves versus Orcs. Game number 2 this evening. It looks to be clear sky. Wait, that's not really sunny, is it? Nope. Perfect conditions for this game here. Week number 6 underway. The Zaj versus Bash. The Orcs, a canonical Bashy team. Look at all this mighty blow and guard on the roster. They're going to be grouped up, getting some assists, and trying to pummel these elves into the ground. These are dark elves, so they're a little more resilient. Well, significantly more resilient than other elvish teams. They have an AV of 9+ on everyone except for the witch elves, who only have the 8+. They still have the edge of 2+. They're still pretty speedy. These blitzers all come with the blitz skill. Of course, they're all MA7. And you can see 1, 2, 3 of them are blodgers as well. The Orc team does have a tackle piece, and that is the middle linebacker here, Chelsea Zola, the level 3 blitzer. That tackle piece is going to be putting in some work in this matchup. I have to imagine with all this dodge on the roster, they're going to be negating that dodge on key pieces. The Orc team's going to be on offense. Here's the kick. Deep kick. Deep kick. The Savage Boys are going to pick up a reroll. They are up to 3 rerolls. They had, I think it was 165,000 gold in petty cash. They ended up picking up a wizard. A wizard, you can't go wrong with a wizard. So a wizard hides a wizard somewhere in the stands. And at some point in the game, either at the end of your opponent's turn or the end of your turn, you can cast a spell once per game. It can either be a fireball, which is a 3x3, targets a 3, ooh, good removal. 3x3 square anywhere on the pitch, and everyone in that square, friend or foe, standing or prone, will have to roll a 4+, or have to roll a d6 on a 4+. They're going to break armor. It's a great way to cage bust. Otherwise, you can zap. You can try to turn somebody into a frog, and if you turn them into a frog, you can kick them in the kneecaps. They're very, very weak. They're frogs. They also lose their hands because they're frogs. So, for example, against this elf team, if one of these blitzers or a witch elf breaks away with the ball, zap might be an option for the Savage Boys in this matchup. 2-die blitz over on the left quarterback here. Gets a knockdown thanks to the block skill. Very deep kick, kicked all the way into the end zone, just inside the right wide zone. Spire says, remember the game plan. Smash the elves. Savage Boys repositioning some players after the blocks. Just they're gonna set up just sort of a light bit of protection around the ball. They don't have to get too tight with it because nobody's gonna be able to get there. Tonight's matchup is the number 1 ranked team this season versus the number 6 ranked team this season in terms of league points. You can see the NC Snakes with a record of 12-2-1 this season. The Savage Boys 6-3-3. Gnome Slayer, the level 2 thrower, is going to move back toward the ball, and that'll be the turn. Turn 1 now for the Snakes. Blitz on the line here by the... Oh, double skulls. Double skulls. Nuffle has a sense of humor. Triple skulls on the block. Spent a re-roll to get a push out of this. Frenzy follow-up will be a knockdown, no armor break. And now the Snakes down to 2 re-rolls for the half. 2+ dodge to reposition that Witch Elf to safety. These Witch Elves, they have Frenzy, right? So they have Frenzy and they have Jump Up. So if you knock them down, you're not eating up 3 points of movement on the stand-up. They can still get anywhere they could have gotten when they were standing. Good 2+ at midfield here by Taipan number 2. Is that Moobs? Ah, Moobs got the best cheerleaders. The best cheerleaders. Turn 2 for the Savage Boys. One-man player advantage currently for the Savage Boys. So being the Bashy team, what they're going to try to do here is they're going to try to take marks, and they want to get as many blocks as possible on their turn. They're going to try to beat up some of these elves. The Elven team being the more agility-based team, they're going to be trying to run circles around these orcs. So the Dark Elf team, they're a little more resilient. You will see a number of blocks here. The problem is these big blockers here. They have a strength of 4. The elves probably won't mess with them too much. It depends on where they're going to be positioned, of course. But otherwise, they're going to be looking to mark out the orcs and then run around them. You can do that both on offense or on defense. The ball's a little too, well, not a little, but quite a ways back here on the pitch to really risk moving down pitch. He could certainly try to apply early pressure here, but then these players are just going to get picked off by these orcs that are sitting right here. Okay, that's fair. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, best cheerleaders. I don't see any flings in a chicken suit. They are up there. the fling cheerleaders are up there as well. Mark in the left wide zone. Might be setting up for the blitz here. Blitz on the left side of the line. Gets the knockdown. Looking for an 8+. Doesn't get the 8+. I like Tizzle Bizzle's dice. I think those are beautiful. Warmaster says, all of that could have been displayed with the teleprompter of death. Oh no! Oh no! It's out of bounds! Where's it getting thrown back onto the pitch? Oh boy. So the crowd says, you know what? It's going up to the 12-yard line. Failed the ball pickup here, even with sure hands. Rolled snake eyes on the pickup. Ball went out of bounds, and now it is sitting next to collateral damage. 2-die block over in the left wide zone. There's a knockdown on Chelsea Zola. And BB Nuts says, hot take, Nurgle cheerleaders are the best. No, they are not. Orcs meats back on the menu. Minute 5 on the clock here for the Elves. They're going to take a mark now against Dark Eye. He's one of the linemen, and Shunter USA, one of the big blockers. Snake Eyes on the dodge here. Rat number 3 fails the dodge. Ajax the Riot with the raid. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream, sir. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. We're in game number 2 of our doubleheader this evening. Thank you kindly for the raid. I appreciate it. Hey, hey. Congratulations on your victory. Turn 3 now for the Savage Boys. After the ball went out of bounds. Fiendish Fairy with the follow. Thank you very, very much. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate it. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, look, meat being on the menu implies that the orcs know what a menu is. How many taverns are serving orcs? Minute 13 on the clock. 2-die block against Cottonmouth number 2. That's the blodger number 5. We're going to push out of this. Stays put. Ajax the Right says, I swear, 5 Imperial Nobility players can make me sweat to score with 11. What a great game. That was a great game. Very well played by both you and by Con Kill. Like, very well. That was a lot of fun to watch. Second block here on Rattler, the Blitzer. Gets a dodge push out of this. Most of these Blitzers on this Dark Elf team are blodgers. Remember, the Savage Boys are sitting on that Wizard. That's going to inform how the Dark Elf team will play on defense or on offense. They're probably not going to cage up tightly. They don't want to give a 5-player target to the Savage Boys. On defense, they need to be a little bit careful as well because, you know, if they're going to go going big on a cage break, they're probably going to have some players clumped together, and they need to watch out for that fireball play. Good pickup by the lineman. Number 12, the rookie, Garrick, collateral damage, will move the ball up to the Savage Boys' own 6-yard line. And that'll be the end of the turn. Turn 3, going back to the Snakes. Mediocre Greatness says, if only I could have gotten those KOs back in the second half. That was some bad luck on the KO rolls for sure. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, I imagine the orcs rolling up to the Mordor Mackies and finding that the haired line between the mouth of Sauron. That's gotta suck. Dude, I love those dice, man. 2-die block here gets a dodge push out of this. This is against the number 1 big and blocker. Remember, these big and blockers all have a strength of 4. And while a strength of 4 is literally 1 more than a strength of 3, really that doesn't play out the way you think it would. It's not like, oh, it's just 1 more. Strength 3, right? If you want a 2-die block with your own strength 3 player, you're going to need 2 players to do that. Strength of 4 against your strength 3 player. Now you need 3 players, right? That's 3 players you're tying up on a single block. And that means that you're down those 3 players to do anything else with, to reposition, to exert tackle zones, to control the pitch, to apply pressure. And so you can imagine with a lot of these big guys with the strength of 5, that's a lot of strength. That's a lot of strength. Settle down, math man. Bitwise Bard, War Master, and Clive Fields, welcome to the stream. Did I block over the left wide zone? Gets a push out of this. Might keep it as a both stand. Yeah, might keep it as a both standing result just to stay marked by these elves. Repositions for another 2-die here. Gets the pal this time. Corn on the block. Needs a big 10+ to break armor. BB Nut asks, I know I've asked this a lot, but it's the top 2 from each division and the 2 best runners up. It is the top 2 from each division. And then, so think of it this way. In the divisions, the top 2 will make the cut to the top 8. So you remove those 6 teams, take all the other teams and pretend like they're all in one big division. And then the top 2 from that will make it. So it's the top 2 from each of the divisions, and then the 2 best teams besides. Those will make the top 8. Ajax the Right says, I got that cheerleader for you. Lost all the prayer rolls too. Yeah, I saw that in the pregame. I was like, hey, it's a cheerleader. 2-die block against Taipan number 2 here. Gets the knockdown. Look for an 8+ with Mighty Blow. Mighty Blow gives you a +1 to your armor or your injury roll, whichever roll you need it for. So if you roll a natural armor break, you can use it for the injury roll. in the game of Blood Bowl, there's actually 3 rolls that you're, well, I guess really 4 rolls that you can make on a block. So the first roll is that one you saw right there. That's the block roll. You roll that to see if you're going to knock down the player, your opposing player, or push them, or some sort of effect. If you do knock them down, the next roll is the armor break roll. You're going to roll a 2d6, and you are looking to beat that. Actually, your opponent typically rolls it, but this 10 plus here, so the collateral damage. You roll 2d6. If you roll a 10 or higher against him, you will have broken his armor. What does that mean? Well, that means you're next going to roll the injury roll, and the injury roll is this table. I, in fact, just pulled it out. Is this... in Blood Bowl 3, it's like this invisible table, but there's an actual table in the rulebook. And there are 3 results on it. If you roll it's another 2d6. If you roll a 2 to 7, you're stunned. If you roll an 8 or 9, you're knocked out. If you roll a 10 through 12, it's a casualty. And if it's a casualty, that's what you'll typically hear me refer to as an injury, even though that was the injury table. That's one last roll you're going to make. It's a d16 roll. You roll on one final table to see what the casualty is. If you roll that 10 plus on the injury table, you are earning yourself 2 SPP. Clifey says, tables, math, science, all available here in the Mid-Atlantic Bowling League. Minute 5 left at turn 4 for the Snakes. Final turn of the first quarter. Clivey says, I'm pretty sure that math means I win. Yep, that's what that means. Frenzy follow up by Black Mamba gets the knockdown here on the front left corner of the cage. Yes, that's very true. Mr. Rockercocker says 10 plus on a block or with special events. That's true, but not on general fouls or surfs. Yeah, there are certain things where you roll that injury table that you don't get SPP for. Although you could get SPP for it, say, on a particular prayers to Nuffle. Blitz on the ball carrier. Very good action order here by the NC Snakes to get Dice on the ball. They got the knockdown here, and they're going to pop that ball out back across the line of scrimmage to the Orcs' 2-yard line. Copperhead, the number 4 blitzer, marking the ball. Turn 5 now for the Tizz Savage Boys. The second quarter of this game begins right now. They've got 3 re-rolls left in the game. The Dark Elves only have the 1 re-roll. Apo Stabs says, wouldn't that be the Orcs' 48-yard line? I would say so, but not according to the yardage markers in Blood Bowl. Clivey says, where did that orc just come from? What do you mean? He came from this invisible line, the back of the pitch. What are you talking about? Two-9 block against Cottonmouth. Cottonmouth the blodger, got the pal. Looking for a 9 plus. Under a minute to go here in turn number 5. A push against Moccasin number 2. The level 2 lineman has the tackle skill. Remember, tackle negates dodge. Block and dodge, I would argue. I don't think it's actually all that arguable, but I would argue are the 2 best skills in the entire game of Blood Bowl. Very versatile skills. All teams want some combination of those skills. T9 block gets a pal here against the rookie Taipan number 2. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Big Wise Part says, well, they're only the best skills in the game if you want to win games. Scrum forming around the ball here. The Savage Boys trying to recover the ball. It's on their own 2-yard line. Still marked by the blodger Copperhead. Not just the blodger, but also a sidestepper. Baron Bucky says, apparently Cyanide thinks the Blood Bowl pitch is 26 yards long. So I'll tell you that. Oh, no. Quad skulls. Quad skulls. Nuffle. Why? Quad skulls against Copperhead. Turn 5 now for the Snakes. So the pitch markings, right, are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have always called them yardage markings. But in the Cyanide, in the back end, in their they store that data. It gets returned by their API as meters. So, but I am never going to call it meters. Not that I have a problem with with meters. I actually have my car set to kilometers, but. But still, like a meter and a yard are more or less the same thing. So, Clivey says, "Of course you have your car set to metric." Well, I did that because I felt foolish not intuiting metric measurements like the rest of the universe. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna force myself to do it. But I still haven't done it with every, like I haven't really done it with volume. Fails the rush on the left side, uses the final team reroll. That's it for the Snakes. They have no rerolls remaining as they reposition Corn just behind the ball on the left side. 2-die blocking against Space Magic, which I'm pretty sure I've called Space Mountain at least a few times. C-Scas, how do you measure temperature? I use Celsius. It is 23 degrees C in this office right now. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, Ava impeding the flow of traffic by going 25 kilometers per hour. 16C, you are out of your mind. No, absolutely not. Iron Cynic said, you communist. We use freedom units here. Then Freddy says, if someone asks about your gas mileage, you can report back just a number and not mention it's in kilometers instead of miles. They will be impressed. 2-die block here against Copperhead. Gets a dodge push out of this. Baron Bucky says, I have this argument all the time with my Euro wife. I don't know the metric system. I don't know if the metric system is better by far, but so it just scrolled off the screen. But see, while actually making rational sense in terms of 0 to 100 is less exact. $22 is cold. I have the thermostat set to 22 when I go to sleep. For everyone else, 22 is 72 is 71.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Dude, Another both standing against Snake Plissken, number 2. Big time scrum forming around, has formed around the ball here in turn 6. The Dark Elves are fine with this. If they can just stall out these orcs, they, I think one more turn, really, they'll have stopped this score. Double pushes against Snake Plissken. Or against Space Magic, rather. Wait, I live in the South? What? How do I live in the South? I live, in fact, in the Mid-Atlantic. Yes, it was in the Union, but it was south of the Mason-Dixon line. That is true. Failed a rush here. Spends a reroll on the rush to get the POW. Copperhead needed that POW. And an 8+ is going to break armor. Going to push on the ball, try to pop this ball out. And the ball's going to pop out of the scrum on the right side here on the 4-yard line. That'll be the end of the turn. Turn 6 now for the Dark Elves. BB Nut asks, why is it called the Mid-Atlantic? It's in the Northeast. Well, so it's the Mid-Atlantic because the Northeast actually kind of has its own name. It's like New England. And so it's just, we're not there. We're not in New England. So we're the Mid-Atlantic. Baron Bucky has all the facts. Dude, I live in DC, so I can mediate this. Maryland is 100% not the South. DC is DC. Virginia is 1/8 not the South, and 7/8 the South. But the Maryland Panhandle does feel like the South. That's true. What about West? Yeah, I was gonna say. What about West Virginia? Appa stabs us. Welcome to the stream. New England is best England. Mr. Crocker says there's no way that Maryland isn't the South. BB Nut says, and why is Dallas in the NFC East? It's pretty south. Dallas is pretty south. It's true. Von Roo says it's wherever the Mason-Dixon line is, right? Well, I mean, it just, there's no, like, actual delineation. I would say a lot of people would say, yes, the South is below the Mason-Dixon line. I don't think anybody in Maryland would consider themselves part of the quote-unquote South. Right. Just because it's south of Maine doesn't make it the South. Be quiet, you southerner. Blitz on Gnome Slayer gets the knockdown here. A 9+ on the throw or break armor is going to push onto the ball. Where's the ball going to end up? It pops out one more space to the right. Now up to the Orc 2-yard line. Dead Freddy says, I always say Maryland is part of the South because it starts a funny discussion like this every time. I'll tell you this. When MAML was the phone company, well, after it got, I mean, I'm not old enough to remember that, but when it got split up into like the Baby Bells. And so our phone company here in Maryland was Bell Atlantic. Turn 7 now for the Savage Boys. Baby Bell is a cheese. Peanut 1234 says, "You telling me I'm not in the South? Your phones are cheese now." They are. Well, I don't know. Maybe they were. Gets a stun on the armor break here. Big scrum forming here at mid pitch, and the Orcs have just not been able to get past this Elven pressure. Still hanging on to that wizard. Clypheus says 1980s antitrust phone company names. That's how you know what region of the US you live in. Dead Freddy says tomorrow will be 97 degrees Fahrenheit in Maryland. It's in the South. Yeah, so like for me, I'm like fully on Celsius. Like I intuit Celsius now. Like once it hits like 30, I'm just like, oh, that's hot. Now we're in hot territory. Like I think today was like 31 or 32 or something. $30 is the start of. Well, no. Like if it were like 26 in the house or something, that would be hot. But I mean outside. Outside, 30 is where I start to think like, yeah, I don't want to be out here. $97 is a Warmaster says $97 is a winter storm warning in Texas. She says 30 is more. Fuck me, I'm not gonna get anything done today. Yeah, so not only is it hot here, but it can be pretty humid. I mean, not as bad as the South, like Georgia. All right, so way back in the day, there was a video game industry expo. It was called E3, and it was normally on the West Coast. One year, they held it in Atlanta. And it was so muggy that it felt like a swamp, and they never went back. Mr. Rocker Crocker! Alabama, Alaska. Oh, I thought you were singing the song. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut. Apostabza says they stopped doing E3, got them old. Yeah, they stopped doing E3. Turn 7 out for the Snakes. Scrum's still happening here at center field. Yeah, my house is 23 during the day and 22 when I'm sleeping. That's too hot. It's just fine. Fiendish Fairy, welcome to the stream. Fiendish Fairy says there's more air conditioning in the US than the UK. So I've heard. Dead Freddy says the scrub started when there were only 13 colonies. 18 is so cold. I don't understand. Like, are you always wearing a sweater? Like, cold start. Six is, I understand it's not literally freezing, but that's like 6 is, that's pretty freezing. I mean, look, if it were 20 in this house, I would be wearing probably a hoodie right now. Baby Nut says, where are the Canadians? What's cold? Dude, I'm blocked. Oh, there we go. 2 points of SPP on the Cavs. Got rid of Korn, the number 11 lineman. You guys are crazy. Crazy. Another here by the orcs. We literally had 2 wars about this. Mr. Rocker Crocker says hurricanes and tornadoes scare me. We don't really get tornadoes in Maryland. I mean, I guess technically we do, but not really. Not real tornadoes. The only real bad things we have in terms of nature are hurricanes for sure. And like, I guess copperhead snakes, I guess. Those are the only things I can think of. Double pals here against Rattler. Looking for a 9+. I don't live close enough to the water to like see the water portion of a hurricane. I mean, other than like the rain, but we can get, you know, if a hurricane hits, you're usually in for a bad week. Like the last hurricane I remember knocked out power for a week. It was awful. Oh yeah, I guess we have blizzards too. I don't really count that as like a problem. I guess maybe it is, but we get blizzards. I have some friends from Indiana, and like there will be like an inch of snow on the ground, and I'm like, oh my god, there's so much snow, and they're like, you have no idea what snow is. Quit talking. You have absolutely no idea what snow is. Yeah, Oppo Stabs says you don't get to call what you have in Maryland blizzards. Oh, Baron Bucky is not wrong. In Baltimore, the only bad natural disaster is economic devastation. Turn 8 for the stakes here. Final turn of the half. 0-0 at the half. That was just a scrum for most of the half there. Second quarter is going to begin with the Dark Elves in position. I think this drive's going to play out a little differently here. We'll see. Iron Cynic says, when I lived in Maryland, we got 18 inches of snow and it shut down the region for over a week. I can yes, it absolutely would. Yeah, no question that would shut it down for a week. In fact, so I have like, you know, the salt you like put on the sidewalk and stuff for ice and snow. I didn't know this could happen, but I have a big bag of that in my basement. And I went down there recently to like do the laundry. And there's a puddle under the bag of salt, and I was like, and so I have a like another refrigerator downstairs, and I had that bag next to the refrigerator, and so I thought the refrigerator was leaking. And I'm like, oh man, come on. So I pick up the bag and I move it, and then I notice the puddle's just like neatly a circle under the bag. I'm like, that's weird. So I just move the bag, and then a new puddle forms under the bag. Apparently that salt, I don't know if it's like sucking the moisture out of the air or what. But the bag of salt is creating a puddle underneath it. Baltimore, I think Baltimore gets more of a bad rep than it should. Like, there are plenty of fine areas of Baltimore, but there are indeed plenty of awful, devastated areas of Baltimore, too. Clypheus with the gifted sub to Baron Bucky. Thank you very much for the gift sub, Clypheus. I appreciate it. Shallow kick here by the Snakes, but it's going to be a high kick. Boy, and Black Mamba's going to retrieve that ball, so they're not going to have to worry about fighting for this ball here on this turn. Turn 9 underway now for the Snakes. Dead Freddy says, it's a city. Every city has some rough areas. Yes, indeed. Yep, I agree. I agree. I went to Gen Con, which is in Indianapolis, and like I was like prepared for like a different universe, but it's the exact same like everyone's the same. Like it's like I mean that shouldn't be surprising, but like I think people overstate differences and understate similarities. Like it's just a normal city like any other city. Although I will say, I always tell the story, but when I was at Gen Con, I was riding, I would take an Uber when I wanted to go places. And I took an Uber one morning, and the Uber driver was like, listen, oh man, I'm real sorry the traffic was bad. We were going 65 miles per hour. And I'm like, what do you mean the traffic's bad? Like, you do not know bad traffic. Let me explain I-495 to you, or I-695. Like, if we are going any faster than 5 miles per hour, this is good traffic. Turn 9 now for the Tizz Savage boys. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, it goes up to 695? It does, but it's not what you think. So, like, Dead Freddy says DC has bad traffic. Baltimore is baby bad traffic, like the baby blizzards. I would agree, but 495 is DC. It's miserable. But yeah, so it's, yeah. Oh, I see. I was about to explain how the interstate numbering system works. Flavia says, I lived in New York City for 3 years. Y'all don't know bad traffic. That's very true. That's very true. Or like on the West Coast on the 405, you know. BB Nut says, the only American city I've driven around was in Chicago, and that was fine. I think most cities are fine, yeah. Old Gamer Mike says, I drive on 695 all the time. Yeah, I try not to, but you can't avoid it. Ball on the 14-yard line right now. 2-die blitz back across the line of scrimmage into a push against Taipan. Taipan number 2. Tizz Savage boys repositioning Chelsea Zola back into that safety position over on the right side. They have Lorax Dream as the safety over on the left side. Turn 10 now for the NC Snakes. Dead Freddy says DC was just named worst traffic city in the U.S., edging out LA. That surprises me. I mean, DC traffic is miserable, but that does surprise me. Yeah, the DC Beltway 495 is a nightmare. I will not drive into DC if I don't have to. Like, I just won't do it. Double pounds here on the blitz against collateral damage. Gets the block, no armor break. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, I feel like DC's traffic issues come from 50 different types of drivers in one area. I think there's definitely that. I complain about that a lot. Like, I'll be like, oh, the FERD F-10,000 drivers are out today, or oh, the speed demons are out. Like, there is a bunch of cultural clash on the road for sure, but I think a lot of the traffic problems, I won't get into the boring details, but like, you can make traffic worse. Thank you, Alexa. I will not forget to take out the trash. But you can make traffic worse by adding more roads. So, like, especially in like some of the older cities like DC or Baltimore or something, there are different ways to get places, and you have like a number of kind of different routes to get somewhere, and that can actually end up making traffic slower for everyone. And I think there's a big part of that in places like DC and Baltimore and like, you know, the old 13 colonies America. Which is also borne out, like, if you have never driven in DC before, do it one day, and good luck getting out. Good luck finding your way through that maze of one-way roads. Double Skulls into a reroll here. Gets the pal against Timidius the second. BB Nut says, my town is awful to drive around. We have 3 towns that merge into one big town. There are 4 rivers dividing up each area. There's 2 bridges crossing each river. So in rush hour, you have to drive over one of the bridges. You have no choice. That's unfortunate. Iron Cynic says, DC before GPS had to be a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I remember, so I went to a show at the 930 Club in DC once. It wasn't literally before GPS, but it was before GPS was ubiquitous. And when we left, I could not find my way out of DC. I eventually thought I found my way out, and I was at a red light, and I had my left turn indicator on, and it turns green, and I turn, and there's a million like street signs around. There was a police officer behind me who patiently waited for me to make that left turn, and he pulled me over because apparently it was no left turns. I was convinced there was no way to escape DC. Yeah, just pick a diagonal street name for a state and keep going. I think that's good advice. Bitwise Bart says going to other cities for shows was wacky back in the day. Yes, I absolutely printed off MapQuest. Yep, I remember that, man. 2-9 blitz against Copperhead. Gets a knockdown due to the tackle skill here. Looking for a 9+. So the elves applying on, or I'm sorry, the orcs applying a little bit of pressure, just as the elves did in the first half of the game. Gets a stun. BB Nut says, have you guys seen the best road system in the world? The Magic Roundabout in Swindon. I have not. I don't even know what that is. Double Skulls here into another reroll. Down to 1 reroll for the game now. Gets a dodge push against Cottonmouth. Festoon says, I used to use MapQuest like a land pirate. Festoon said, when I was 17, got lost going back to New Jersey, wound up in Trenton. I understand it's Trenton, but that's still New Jersey, right? Life is rooting for the dwarves, I guess. Thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate it. Oh my, what is this craziness, BB Nut? Who designed this? Why is this a thing? What madman decided to make a roundabout of roundabouts? What is this? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Clypheus. Festoon says, I was about 2 hours off course when I ended up in Trenton. You know what that son of a bitch needs? More roundabouts. Oh my, why is this a thing? 47, I can't believe this. 2-die block against Dark Eye. Another double skulls here. Spends a reroll. Each team down to 1 reroll now. Gets a push against Dark Eye. Both teams still kind of trying to carve out a little bit of space here on the pitch. And that's indeed why the defense is applying this pressure here. Trying to keep the offense on their toes and not give them a safe place to regroup here. Mr. Rocker Crocker says the beauty of living in Maine is that I just need to find 95 and go north. I get home eventually. I honestly, that's something I like about the interstate numbering system. Like, if I'm lost, if I could just find an interstate, I can generally get back to where I need to be. Two-die block against collateral damage once again, and again it's going to be a push here. Snakes on the bonus clock with 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Oh, if it's any other number, I'm screwed. We only have 95. Ball advances forward to the 6 and gets handed off to Sidewinder, the number 2 Witch Elf. Now the ball's on the 8-yard line. And Cleffy says in 2009, the Magic Roundabout was voted the 4th scariest junction in Britain. I can believe it. I will. There's no way I am ever going to drive on that. Ball moves across the line of scrimmage to the opposing 8-yard line now. So the Dark Elves moving. 2 dodges, two plus dodges to get into position. Takes a mark on Chelsea Zola on the left side. 3 plus dodge to a 2 plus on the right side by Taipon number 2. Yeah, I cannot imagine what would be scarier than this Magic Roundabout. Dead Freddy said, yeah, I drove in Ireland once. I found it far harder to deal with driving from the right side of the car than being in the other lane. My brain kept saying I was going to crash into oncoming cars as I passed them. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, I went to Vermont recently and it was like, there's the... Oh, nothing out of the fireball. Just fireballed the Witch Elf and failed the 4 plus. So that's the fireball spent. Turn 11 for the Savage Boys. And was like, well, it's 1/4 the size. Why are there so many interstates? What is the Spaghetti Junction? Do I want to know what the Spaghetti Junction is? Is it just what it sounds like? Oh, God. This... This photo, what is this? Why is it... This looks like an AI made this. This looked like I typed make a junction in the highway and an AI did this. Not much AA back in 1972, yeah. What is that? What is that, Oppo Stabs? What? How? What do you even do there? That's barely an intersection. That just looks like a demolition derby ring. Like, what do you do? BB Nut says, welcome to British road designs. Most of the roads are safe as you'll likely be in a traffic jam caused by roadworks anyway. The Oryx pulling back here to try to cover these elves. Once these elves get past you, it can be difficult to stop them. Remember, for all these elves, Snatch a 2 plus a positive dodge away. So a positive dodge is in no modifiers would be a 2 plus. Azig, welcome to the stream. James Like Snacks, welcome to the stream. Yeah, these intersections are nuts. Azig says, I got caught in the Spaghetti Junction in KC, Missouri for the first time ever driving in the U.S. as a European. It took me like 3 hours to escape this hell and leave the city. Kept going back accidentally and missing the right exit every time. And also no GPS. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Turn 12 now for the Snakes. Snakes could score if they want to. It's a 2 plus dodge to 2 rushes currently. See, serious question. Does anyone actually know what's going on in the game? No. That's right. It's 0-0, no casualties for one team. Yep. NC State's going to move this ball over into the right wide zone. They're going to advance the ball to the looks to be the 12-yard or 14-yard line. There's a game. There used to be this like 5-way intersection in a town to just the one rush. There it is. There's the score. Very well done. The NC Snakes are going to take the lead in this ball game 1-0. The thumbs down. We found something more painful than Blood Bowl. British roads. There used to be a 5-way intersection in this town called Towson in Maryland, and they replaced it with a roundabout. And I remember when they replaced it with a roundabout, the concept of roundabouts was new to everyone, and they were just like, what is this? What do you do? Mr. Rocker Crocker says, I blame the interactivity of Twitch chat for my Chaos Tours not being finished for Beach Bowl tomorrow. Dead faces. More Imperial pints of blood spilled on British roads. All right, a 3-4-3 defensive formation here for the defense. And now for the, I'll check out the video later. I'll bookmark it. 3-4-3 defense. 3 on the line for the offense here. Here's the kick. Middling kick. Brilliant coaching is going to go to the Snakes. The Snakes are going to pick up an extra reroll. They're up to 2 now here in the final turn of the third quarter. 2-9 block on the left side, on the left defensive end, I should say. Get knocked down here against Coral Reef. Good removal. So now a 2-man player advantage, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2-man player advantage. Oh, sorry, 1-man player advantage for the Orc team. Iron Cynic says they built a roundabout in southern Charles County. The locals about revolted. Abo says, I thought the locals were revolting somewhere in the 18th century. Cease rooting for this Elven defense. 2-die block on the right defensive end gets a push here against Taipon number 2. And now 2-die block against the nose guard, or the nose tackle gets a push. Blocks have been taken. Blitz still on the table. Tizz Savage Boys behind by a touchdown. They have no rerolls remaining in this game. Just 1 minute, 32 seconds left on the bonus clock. 2 assists over in the left wide zone right now. Dead Freddy says, the fact that this abomination is traversed by mostly New England drivers is truly terrifying. Good pickup here, thanks to sure hands. Going to move the ball up to the 8-yard line. It's in the hands of number 10. This is Gnome Slayer, the thrower. Is a level 2 thrower, has picked up the block skill. 3-point cage set up. No more resources left for the Savage Boys other than an apothecary. She said, I thought I'd make it look like I'm interested in the game. I'm not only here for the urban planning. BBNet says, I'm going to Swindon next week for a Blood Bowl tournament. I've already planned the route to take 10 minutes longer, but no magic roundabout. Yeah, I would not go anywhere near that thing. 2-dive block on the left side of the line here. It's going to get the knockdown against Chelsea Zola. Two-dive blitz over in the left wide zone. A POW against Shunter USA. This is the number 8 big end blocker. Has to follow up due to frenzy. .43 seconds left on the clock here in turn 13 for the Snakes. Dead Freddy says 56 people watching the stream for the urban planning. Failed 2+ dodge here by the Snakes. They're going to use that reroll Nuffle provided. Makes another 2+ dodge for the assist. And now the 2-dive block against number 11 gets the POW. But these Orcs are very resilient, I say, as he breaks armor. Gets a good armor break. Failed dodge again. Not going to spend a reroll this time. That'll be a turnover. Turn 13 for the Savage Boys. Who do I want it against? Well, I guess the elves are winning. So we'll say, let's see, who's a good target? This guy's a good target. This guy probably wants to get away, but he can't get away because he's going to come up on the block. And then when he comes up on the block, boom, he's going to be dead. And dead is a skull face with X's for eyes. BBNet says, I wish they had done a documentary on the planning of it. I'm 99% sure the Magic Roundabout exists as a bit of a dare and no one called that bluff. Two-dive blitz against Snake Plissken. He's going to get the knockdown here and an 8+ breaks armor with Mighty Blow. Lorax Dream on the blitz. No armor break though. Repositions the blitzer to take a mark on Sidewinder, the number 2 Witch Elf. So the Orcs trying to carve out center pitch here. Still plenty of time in this game, but they're going to have to move a little bit here. They go across the line of scrimmage to the opposing 2-yard line. Remember that thrower's in possession of the ball. Orc team's not really a throwing team, but any team can actually throw the ball. Rambo, the number 3 blitzer, is going to move ahead and take point in this formation. Azig says, speaking of, I wish there was a good documentary on Blood Bowl, a game that old and still cherished by so much by so many. I'm sure there'd be a lot to tell. I would love that. I would love to see a documentary on Blood Bowl, or even like GW in general would be cool. I think. Two-dive block over on the right side of the pitch here gets a POW. Another armor break, and gets the removal. So it's a 2-man player advantage, I believe, now for the Tizz Savage Boys. 11 v 8 3-man player advantage. Turn 14 now for the Snakes. Very punchy game. This ball has not moved very far from the line of scrimmage all game long. It's turn 14. The Snakes are in the lead, but the Savage Boys are in possession of the ball. One minute, 15 seconds to go here for the Snakes. They're trying to figure out what they can do to try to stop this score, try to stop this cage from moving forward. Being at center pitch again makes it another failed dodge. Got through it with the free dodge reroll. Nuffle does not like these elves dodging away. 2-die block against Lore Extreme is going to be a POW. Being at center pitch here makes it very difficult for a team, especially when you're down a couple of players, to cover all the options against the running game, because you've got to cover a wide swath of the pitch. Final team rerolls spent here, and a push. So now the Snakes out of rerolls. There are no rerolls left in this game. Oh, BB Nut. That's great. I'm gonna check that out. I didn't even know that was a YouTube channel. That's awesome. Good looking out. Blitz on the left side. 2-die blitz against Chelsea. Zola. It's gonna get a push out of this. Frenzy follow-up into a 2-die. That's double pals. And now a mark on the ball carrier. Well done. 2 marks on the ball carrier. Both teams applying heavy defensive pressure in this game. Turn 14 for the Savage Boys. They are behind right now. 2-die block against Taipon number 2. They're going to get a 2-die against Rat 3 as well. Why push that way? I guess maybe they just won't follow up here. Minute 14 left on the clock. No rerolls remaining for the Savage Boys. Clappy says going to the right with a dodge, maybe like all the way in the right wide zone. Yeah, maybe so. I thought they would take it this way, but I guess maybe they're gonna go this way. Marking out some players. Good action order on display here by Tizzle Bizzle. 2-die block against Cottonmouth. This is going to be a push. Or both standing result. I actually think it'll be a both standing result instead, since it's currently marked out. Yep, there it is. Stand up blitz against Black Mamba number 2. Got the POW here, looking for an 8+ to try to get this Witch Elf off his back. There it is. Great armor break. Oh, even better. Got the KO. Will not have to worry about the Witch Elf for these final few turns. This will work out through the block skill. Another armor break. So do the math on this, right? So Rat 3 out for a turn. That'll be turn 15. On turn 16, we'll lose 3 MA to the stand-up. That leaves just 3 MA. Do the math on this, I say. And then the dodge fails. I was going to say doesn't have to worry about Rat 3. But failed dodge by the thrower with no rerolls remaining. That ball's going to stay right where it was. Smack dab in the middle of the field. Turn 15 for the Snakes. Oppo stabs us and how do you not name Black Mamba number 5? BB Nut, I am very excited about that YouTube channel. I'm very. Two-die black gets push here, so just trying to contained. And if they can, they're gonna get a 1-0 victory in this game. NC Snakes, if they win, they will go up to 5-0-0 here in week number 6. That'll bring them up to 15 points in the mission. NC Snakes have given away just 1 touchdown in this competition so far. One die block on Lorax Dream is going to be a push. Going to end the turn trying to... Oh, Nuffle, you've got a sense of humor. Got out of those marks to take the blitz, but the one die blitz will be a skull. Turn 15 now for the Tizz Savage boys. If they are going to tie this game, they've got to move this ball into scoring position on this turn. The ball is currently marked by 2 elves. The number 3 Blodger Blitzer and the number 4 Blodger Blitzer, Copperhead and Rattler. Festoon says I still have to play these Dart Elves too. Two-die block will be a POW here against Snake Plissken. 8+ breaks armor. There's the armor break. Dead Freddy says, this calls for an orc pass. Two-die block on the right side. It's another knockdown here. 8+ will break armor. See, I was going to say, is Tizzle Bizzle going to push onto the ball? No. Another armor break. These could be great, but you've got to get the ball to make something happen. Another removal. The right side of the pitch, clear of elves right now. Two-die against Rattler. Got the POW here. And now a two-die coming up on Copperhead. Is the thrower picking up the ball? That's just 2 MA. Pushing out the Witch Elf. Ball still marked. It's a 50-50 pickup right now. Well, no, it's a 75% pickup with sure hands. $55 seconds left on the bonus clock for the Tizz Savage boys. So far, so good. They have secured the right side of the pitch. Two 4+ attempts to pick this ball up. Here's the first one. Doesn't work out. The second one doesn't work out as well. But that ball will bounce probably in the best spot for the Orc team that it could. Turn 16 for the Snakes. Can they stop the score? Right now, it's down to Rambo. Rambo on the 14-yard line. Inspire praise to Nuffle. I think that's something we can all do. Put your faith in Nuffle, and anything is possible. Stand-up blitz here by Cottonmouth number 2. Gets the knockdown on Shunter USA. Will stay put and reposition to the right side. Dead Freddy says, I feel we have mostly missed a pretty good game here by getting distracted. Failed rush, by the way. You always fail the rush. Turn 16 for the Savage Boys. Can they pull out a draw here? The ball's on the 2. They have a player in scoring position. Number 10 currently marked by Copperhead, but Copperhead can get pushed aside. Copperhead is a sidestepper, but there's nowhere to the sidestep to stay marking number 10. There it is, 2-die block. Got the POW. Mr. Rocker Crocker says the Witch Elf was going for a roundabout route. Another 75% chance on the pickup. Is it going to be a double rush handoff? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a quick pass. These blocks scare me so much. So much. Oh, God. You know what? Tizzle Bizzle putting their faith in Nuffle. Let's go. Oh, yeah. You're right. Dead Freddy. Bernie Buffin can move out of the way. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single rush handoff. So that is the play for sure. Oh, it's going to be a double rush handoff. Or pass. Okay. They did it. They did it. Oh, the Savage Boys will tie the ball game up. It's 1-1 at the final. Wow. The Orcs tie the game at the buzzer. Well done. Oh, I didn't catch the replay because I was so excited. Oh. Very well played by both coaches. I think. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Dead Freddy with the roundabout pun. That was a roundabout path, but nice play. Oh, man, and with that, the Snakes finally, they're still undefeated, but they are not 5-0-0. They're now 4-1-0, still handily in first place here. Well done. The Savage Boys in fourth place, also undefeated with a record of 2-3-0. So we can't circle back to that. Oh, that was very, very well played. Let's take a look at the schedule before we leave for the evening. Coming up next, we have a game. We have, a game tomorrow night, Friday, July 25th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's UTC -4. We've got Mammal Nightmare versus the Wasabazons. That's Festoon versus War Horseman. Is that Necro? Let's see. Yes, indeed. That is Necro versus Amazons. Then this Tuesday, July 29th at 11 o'clock a.m., another morning game. We're going to have the Remnants of Valor versus the Believe Broncos. We've got S. Beaver versus BB Nut. That'll be Humans versus Nurgle. 4 more games left to be scheduled this week. And when those games get scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to that schedule on our website. It is morning. On our website at maml.club. That's maml.club. Here on Twitch or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, X, and Facebook. You can also watch previous games on our YouTube channel. And if you'd like to hang out in our Discord, there you go. There's a link to our Discord. You can come hang out. If you'd like to play in our next competition, just give me a holler. I'm Ava Unit 2 over there, and you can just say, hey, Ava, I want to participate in your next competition. I'll put you on the list. When registration opens, I'll send you a message on how you can register. It's super simple to do. We'd love to have you in the league and participate. and play some Blood Bowl. You can play Blood Bowl on Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation, and Xbox, and a tabletop forum at your friendly local game store until tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Again, that's UTC -4. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening.